Surplus cash, where to invest it? Seems like a simple question. It's actually quite complicated, but I'm going to simplify it for you in just a few seconds. Now, what do you mean by surplus cash? Should you invest it in low volatility? Because what you're thinking is, what's an alternative to a bank account? Is there something which provides me not 3.8% in a savings account, but maybe 6%? If that's what you mean, you've got a problem, because if it's anything related to stocks, then the danger is, even with the more safer portfolios, that it could drop 20% within a year. Okay, now we've created portfolios for clients which have dropped, worst case, peak to trough, under 10%. However, you always want to allow for the fact that what if there's a particularly bad macroeconomic event? There are enough of those going around, and therefore you could get a steeper fall. So if it's not equities, people sometimes think, oh, I'll just put it into bonds. Well, Liz Truss proved that you could have a bond portfolio which can crash, which is why so many pensioners got screwed during the Liz Truss period, because they thought their fund manager had put it into safe bonds, but they hadn't, and the price of those bonds completely collapsed. So when they looked at their statements, they were all in a fluster and a panic. Okay, so that's not the answer. Well, what about corporate bonds? A similar kind of problem. So really what people probably mean by I've got surplus cash, what should I do, is how should I allocate it to my existing investments? So let's work on their investments as they stand now. Any investments you have at the moment will fall into three categories. There'll be those stocks that have gone up, those that have barely budged, and those that have fallen. So are you adding the surplus cash to the winners? Are you adding it equally, or adding it to the losers? So let's break each one of those down into very simple format. If you add it purely to the winners, the danger is that you have now got an unbalanced portfolio which has chased momentum, and you've not actually looked at the fundamental reasons that you are in those stocks. Even if the fundamentals stay the same, and let's assume they do, you have simply now created a new portfolio with a bunch of stocks which you've selected partially on the original fundamentals, but actually a load of momentum. So whilst that does have some merit to it, which is momentum is one of the key factors which drives the markets, and therefore that portfolio should probably do well, though we'll only know in hindsight. It's probably not in and of itself the only reason to add to winners was they were winners. Okay, so what about losers then? Some of the stocks which were in your portfolio, but the portfolio had good value, growth, income stocks, had a good range of companies. Why not add to the losing positions? Now, there is some merit to this because they should revert to mean, catch up, etc. But again, the problem is that you're only adding to them for, in this case, negative momentum. So the one that I suggest people do, the third thing being, as you notice, stocks are just relatively flat, is what you're actually asking is, should I just rebalance in the pre-existing portfolio? And that's probably the safest outcome. And if you're particularly risk averse, you could dollar cost average into those. So in other words, let's say you had 20 securities, 5% in each originally when you bought them, and now some represent 10% of your portfolio, others represent 1%. You would rebalance them equally to bring them all back to 5% each with the surplus cash. It's a bit of a tricky mathematical problem for you to do, but it's once you get the knack of it, it's not that difficult. As I said, if you're risk averse, you might add into those tranches. We'd only know what the right door to go through would be in hindsight, whether you should have just added to winners, just added to losers. But the key here is that you've got a systematic approach, keeping to the fundamentals of and purpose of your original portfolio, which comes back to, well, how do you know you've got a good portfolio? Well, and that's where we come in. Have a look at the website with the screen on the screen at the moment, and you will see how we give the data and the mentoring and the handholding to help people get good quality portfolios. Not everything goes up all the time, but truly, you're the ones as private investors who are closest to being able to do things the right way by having the right data. So do have a look at all of that, and I hope to be able to speak to you soon. Thank you.